Welcome to Start With Occupancy, the podcast for senior living owners, operators, and sales professionals. Hi, I'm Tiffany, marketing strategist and former corporate baddie who got tired of producing results for Wall Street and wanted to make a change on Main Street. I provide quick tips, idea nuggets, and case studies to help you with proven sales, marketing, and business development strategies along with leadership concepts, so that you can inspire change, impact lives, and improve outcomes for the aging, their families, and your teams. I'm committed to equipping you with the tools, the knowledge, and resources that you need to excel in your business. With over 12 years of experience working inside senior living companies, large and small, I've developed a deep passion for advocating for the aging adult and those who care for them, all while driving business growth. So whether you're already in the senior care industry or maybe you would like to be, if your mission is to serve them, my mission is to serve you. Join me as we unravel the strategies and tactics that drive success in your business while making a difference in someone's life. The goal in 2024 is to touch, guide, and impact the lives of 10 families per month. Are you with me? It's time to be inspired, gain practical tips, and own your future. Today, I wanted to talk about the top 5 mistakes new sales managers make in senior living. And this could be also for business owners. So, you ready? Number 1, this is a doozy. And I think it's because we're not really trained that way, but it is to plan properly for your day. Planning properly for your day sets you up for a good day. And a lot of times people wisp in and they're not prepared for the day. I know several of my most successful sales managers had in their mind, if not already written out, what were the things they needed to do today. So what does that mean? That also means coming in and knowing who you're going to talk to for the day, having it written down the night before. So before you leave the day before, you should know what you're going to do that morning before that morning meeting, so that when you're walking in, even if you're walking in slightly before the meeting, you already have your stuff laid out. We had to know what was the ins, what was the outs, what did we have hot that was coming in. We had to know what was our next steps going into that day, and then be able to discuss it and communicate it to our department head for that morning meeting. So if you don't have that and you're walking in, by the time you hit your morning meeting, you don't know what's going on for the day, and you're going to look a little bit disorganized and frayed, and disorganization does not bring you sales. You have to have some type of organization. I think all salespeople are disorganized to a certain extent, but total chaos where you don't know exactly what's going on is never good, and it doesn't show well for your executive directors. The second thing, as the top 5 mistakes that I have here, is not having template. So one way that helped me to become efficient as a sales manager is I created templates in my email. I created templates for my move-in. I created templates so that I wouldn't have to create the same thing over and over again. What that means is that when I had an email, I knew was that somebody, I tried to call and they missed that call. I had a template email that I already knew that I was going to send out. I had the first paragraph or sentence rather was a template that I used for everybody, but I had certain holes in it so I can customize it. So it was customized to that person. But then the other part of it was a little bit of the template. I had questions I would ask for a return. So I would spur that conversion so that they can not only click on it, but call me back. And then I had an ending that was a template. So I didn't have to create the email over and over again. And I had that for if I called them and they missed my first call. I had that if they missed my meeting where they were supposed to come in and visit. I had a template for just a generalized follow-up with questions, and I had a list of questions. So creating those templates help you to save a little bit of time. The third one is not following up accordingly. This is one of the most deadly sins that sales managers make. Speed to lead is the key. And when I first came into the industry, and it wasn't that long ago, I remember specifically that our internet leads was only 28% of our total leads coming in, generated back then. And this was like 2011. And then as it started to increase, and we started seeing it increasing almost every month, it was a speed to lead. And we had a protocol. You call, if you don't answer, don't leave a message, wait 2 hours, call again, don't answer, don't leave a message, wait 2 hours again, call again. So now you had at least 3 times calling that person within the day, depending on what time the lead came in. And then from there, you sent out an email. And then the next day, you sent out a follow. Like, it was so structured. And what happened for me, because we also used to get our leads through our phone, no matter what time, I would respond back to even just saying, hey, I see that you have reached out to us. I know it's late. I just want to let you know my name, who I'm with, and I'll be calling you in the morning. One of the things that happened for me personally by doing that is that I was able to capture more of the internet leads because it was about speed to lead. I was able to introduce myself, tell them just a little bit in a blurb who we were, and let them know that I was going to be calling them back. So they were expecting me. So what ended up happening is that I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was end of 2012, my community was the top community in internet lead conversion. But that was always because of speed to lead. I had a deep understanding of that and knew that the faster I could get to talk to somebody, not just to talk in general, but to really do full discovery, really understanding what their needs are, being a huge resource to that person, that I had a better chance of conversion. The other part of not following up accordingly is, are you only following up one time, or are you following up every other day for at least the first 10 days? Are you changing the way you follow up? Are you only calling and not getting an answer and saying, oh, well, oops? Are you just emailing? Are you mixing it up? Are you sending a video? Are you asking for a response in some form or fashion through text? There's so many different ways of reaching out to people, especially now, and you have to mix it up. And sometimes that means asking for a call, not sometimes, all the time, it means asking for a call to action. You want to give them a call to action on why they need to call you. And sometimes that means reminding them why they called you first. So a lot of times I would put in an email, you called me because you were concerned about your dad. And then I would go in. These are some of the things I specifically have resources based on what I see. If you call me, then I would be glad to give these resources to you for free resources to you. And that would spur people to call me. So it is how you position yourself in your emails or in your text or in your messages. And that's how I always positioned myself, that I would lead the person to me by what I said, so that they felt like they had to reach back out to me and return my call or my email or my text. The fourth mistake that most sales managers or business owners who have a small senior living community make is do not ask enough questions. It is not enough for you just to, if you have a sheet with a certain number of questions, but to dig deep, to ask enough questions to spur more conversation. If you're not getting enough of the reasons, if you can't answer these 5 things, and I learned this from, I don't know if this was Kim, who was my regional director of sales back then. I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was Bear Mahon. If you guys don't know Bear Mahon, he's an amazing person. But it was knowing what is the reason they called, what was the emergency, why did they call you, knowing what is the situation, their need, what needs did they have, what was their financial situation, who was the influencers. Me, I always also did what was their objection, knowing also what their legacy was. Like there was 5, we call it the 5 keys. And for me, I always add objections in that. So I needed to know exactly what would be a possible objection for them, so that I knew how to better position our community and to even see if our community was the right community for them. Sometimes it's not. And so the sooner you're able to find that out, the better you're able to help that person. So not asking enough questions and not digging deep enough in your question. Huge mistake most sales managers make. Last but not least, drum roll please, is not entering your data into your CRM. I was horrible at this. I was horrible. And I knew the value of it. I absolutely knew the value, but I was so entrenched and so busy. La, 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 la. That's what my regionals would say. But I always produced and I always knew what was going on. So I had my own CRM system. It just wasn't in the system. However, as a regional, one of the things that I was able to identify, and I knew this, you can strategically see where you're going wrong when things are in the system. For me, and I would like to say I was an exception because I could see I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. But a lot of people don't have that. Uh, I'm not saying that I'm special, but I'm just saying it helps your regionals to help you better. That's what I'm saying. So when you have it in the system, you're able to identify, am I not getting enough leads? Are they not converting once they come in and visit? Is it the first impressions that's happening? Is it my follow-up that's making a mistake? You're able to be more strategic in identifying where you need more help and support. And so I promise you, I was not the best, but I had spurts of goodness. But it's the data, it's the metrics. And how do you do planning for financials and budgeting and projections and stuff like that if you don't have the data to support it? According to Mr. Connor and Charlotte Schofield and so many others that I have had on my live, is if it's not in it, it never happened. Am I right? Well, if it's not in the system, it never happened. And so that is something, time management is super important. There have been many mornings I would go in super, super early, 2 hours sometimes before my morning stand up to try and catch up and to catch up on my data. There was times I used my concierge and utilized her to help me catch up on my data. There was times where I stayed late. And typically I did at least once a week, but more than likely 2 to 3 times a week to try and do follow-up, which is the other thing we talked about, but also to catch up on my data. So I say all that. I hope this helps because the faster you're able to get over those 5 most common mistakes most sales managers or business owners make, the faster that you can get to what you're wanting in terms of conversion and move-in. So thank you so much. If you're wanting more information, please just put it in the comments that this was helpful to you. So hopefully this is going to help you guys. Let me know. Appreciate you. Bye.